It is indeed with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the launch of the Steering Committee on establishing Nairobi, or the Nairobi International Financial Centre, which indeed is part of our efforts to develop an efficient and globally competitive financial services sector that will assist us to achieve our economic growth targets. I take this opportunity to also recognize members of the Steering Committee who are here with us today, as well as representatives of the financial sector who have joined us for this event today. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, Vision 2030 aims to transform our country, Kenya, into a newly industrialized, middle-income country, providing a high quality of life for all Kenyans by the year 2030. The financial services sector is an important component in driving the country towards the attainment of this vision. The flagship projects of the financial sector include banking sector consolidation, as we've just been told, pension reforms, increasing diaspora remittances, tapping the international capital markets by issuing benchmark sovereign bonds, and indeed what we are here to do and to start today, which is creating an international finance center with the required legal and institutional reforms necessary for its creation. The overarching sector objectives remain enhancing access, increasing efficiency, and fostering financial stability. The main reasons driving the establishment of the Nairobi International Financial Sector are to, one, intermediate international capital to fund regional investments, and two, develop the capital markets to mobilize resources to finance long-term investments locally and regionally, and three, to harness Kenya's strengths to gain from regional economic and financial integration. Thus, the establishment of the Nairobi International Financial Centre is a natural evolution of the growth and development of the financial services sector to the regional and international levels. As the largest economy, Kenya does occupy a uniquely important and strategic position in the East African Community region. The East African Community partner states and the wider COMESA region will continue to be important export markets over the remaining term of the Vision 2030. Developments in the region, particularly regional economic and financial integration following the establishment of the single common market from 1st of July 2010, are opening up significant opportunities for Kenya in financial services. These include, amongst other things, intermediation of regional deposits and region-wide investment projects. Regional financial services integration will also provide increased opportunities for us to develop further and export international financial services into the East African Community region and to the larger COMESA region as well. Our currency is currently widely accepted for transactional purposes in the East African region. And as you can see, therefore, opportunities for an international financial sector in Kenya to finance regional investments is indeed significant. Financial services are currently contributing about 5.4% of our GDP. That makes it the fifth largest in the economy after agriculture at 24%, transport and communication at 12%, manufacturing at 9.1%, and education at 6%. Financial services can potentially contribute as much as 8 to 15% of our GDP and increase formal sector employment beyond the current share of 1%. By growing faster than the overall economy, the financial sector has been a key engine of growth, employment, and innovation. The sector has critical linkages with other sectors, that impact the growth of the real economy, particularly development of critical infrastructure. We believe, therefore, that by developing a competitive and efficient financial sector, including a world-class international financial center, is going to be critical to our economic and national interests. Global competition in financial services is intensifying, with a lot of significance being attached to the benefits of location, this being plugged into the global financial networks and the support of a world-class ICT platform. We believe that Kenya is gaining in all of these attributes and is therefore well placed to benefit from the establishment of the Nairobi International Financial Centre. Will be enhanced further as we make efforts to increase access to finance, foster competitive interest rates, and efficient financial intermediation. This requires us to build a better financial and capital markets infrastructure. The purpose of setting up the Nairobi International Financial Centre is therefore not only to develop an efficient and globally competitive financial services sector, but contribute to the development of our capital markets and mobilization resources to finance long-term investments. Other important goals include increasing employment in financial services, attracting international capital issuers and investors to Kenya, and indeed to the entire East African region, developing and leveraging our country's position as a regional services hub for transportation, tourism, and financial services, and promoting Kenya as a gateway for capital into the East African region. Given the foregoing, it is important that the Nairobi International Finance Centre should be set up on a sound and appropriate framework. The establishment of the steering committee that we're launching today is the first step towards setting such a sound foundation for our financial center. The steering committee for the establishment of the Nairobi International Financial Centre will be charged with A, the overall responsibility for development of the financial center, including developing the legal, regulatory, and institutional framework. It will also be charged with guiding the establishment of the center and aligning it with the overarching financial sector policy objectives of access, efficiency, and stability. It will also identify and implement key requirements for the center based on experience in emerging nations and international best practices, overseeing the establishment of the center's support institutions and determining the type of financial services to be offered, and reporting frameworks required, and identifying, recommending, and approving funding options for this financial center. In addition to the above responsibilities, the steering committee and technical committee, under its direction, will be expected to develop a comprehensive policy paper on the Nairobi International Financial Centre, proposing the preferred type of financial center, possible financial implications, funding options, and implementation plans. The decision to establish an international financial center is indeed a very bold step for our country. We hope to see the payoffs from this initiative in the near future as part of driving our ambitions even further. The Nairobi International Financial Centre thus represents our commitment for the future. The government and the financial sector regulators are demonstrating their commitment to put in place a supportive and enabling environment for international financial services to thrive, necessary to make the financial center a reality. The responsibility ultimately for ensuring that we realize our ambitions for the center must be a shared one. The future belongs to those countries that are most competitive by being the most cost-effective, creative, and innovative. in the future that we envision, customers require that we will be able to deliver a value proposition. Achieving this will need cooperative efforts from amongst all regulators, industry, market professionals, and indeed all participants. We are confident that with the establishment of the Financial Centre, as envisioned in our Vision 2030, we will write another chapter of success for our great nation. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, I'd just like to conclude by saying we should not imagine that we are the only ones thinking about this in the region. There are also other countries out there. Rwanda is thinking along the same lines. Uganda is thinking along the same lines. Djibouti is thinking along the same lines. We shouldn't sit there and sit on our laurels and think that because we are now currently the largest, we will continue to be the largest player in the market. What this calls for is speed, therefore. We don't want to establish a steering committee that really will just be a steering committee in words, but very little action coming out of it. We want to see some action, and we want to see some action in the shortest possible time. I see no reason, for example, why we cannot commit ourselves to creating and having the necessary laws in place before the end of this financial year. We need to be able to do that and say that by next year, we shall have the authority in place. We need to be able to work with PS Ndemo and his Technopolis and and say that before the software companies come in, we shall have our financial markets center up and running. And as we launch this committee, one appears, I'm quite surprised that you have not included your colleague here as a member of this team. He should be a member of this steering committee. So maybe that is something we need to relook at and add his name as we go forward. Because I don't see, oh, it is there, he's there, sorry. Yeah, he is there. Because I think he is an important player actually in this particular exercise. So, with those remarks, I am hoping, Bwana Chairman, that you will be inviting us very shortly once again to roll out for us the plans that you have laid that will ensure that we move with speed. We move with speed towards getting this particular center up and running. With those few remarks, the steering committee, composed of the Permanent Secretary to the Treasury, Mr. Joseph Kinyua, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Planning, National Development and Vision 2030, Professor Sambili, the Permanent Secretary, who I didn't note, for Information and Communication, Dr. Bitangi Ndemo, the Permanent Secretary, Nairobi Metropolitan, Dr. Philip Onyango Siaka, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Trade, Engineer Adan Ali, the Solicitor General, Wanjuki Mushemi, the Governor of the Central Bank, Njuguna Ndongo, the Director General of Vision 2030, Mugo Kibati, the Managing Partner of Fanisi Capital Markets, Mr. Makatiani. I wish you all congratulations and may you begin your work, and we wish you every success. I thank you all very much.